I've spent the last year reading the Warriors Power of Three series. Like the first two series, it's made up of 6 books. It takes place in a forest where feral cats have formed clans. They constantly fight with each other for prey and territory. The main characters are 3 newcomers named Lionpaw, Hollypaw, and Jaypaw. There's a big prophecy that says they have the power of the stars. Whatever that means, we're still not really sure on it. It seems to mean they have superpowers. I liked this interesting premise. Cats who are superheroes! Great idea! My main gripe with the series is that it stretches out the superhero stuff for far too long. The characters don't even learn about their superpowers until halfway through. I kept thinking, next book will be the one where they go all out in an epic superhero showdown. But it never happens. By the time the series is over, they still don't really use their powers, and there's no epic battle at the end, like in the first 2 series. You can't promise superhero cats and then give me no superhero cats. That's just mean. Here's a recap of the series. In the first book, the kittens have an encounter with foxes. J-Kit wants to be a warrior, while Hollykit wants to be a medicine cat. Over the course of the book, they struggle in their careers, and they end up swapping jobs. J-Paw is practically destined to be a medicine cat because he has psychic powers. He can see the future, and he can travel in cat's dreams. He uses his powers to save multiple cats from dying. I forgot he used his powers so much in this first book, because as I complained, he doesn't use his powers at the end of the series. Presumably because there are multiple stories about keeping secrets. If J-Paw used his mind-reading powers, then these stories couldn't happen. In the second book, Lionpaw starts secretly meeting with a Wind Clan cat named Heatherpaw. They play together every night in some underground caves. When tensions mount between the clans, Lionpaw wonders what to do. He eventually decides he can't be friends with Heatherpaw anymore, which makes her upset. The two become enemies. There's a 2-book storyline with Cinderpaw, who's the reincarnation of Cinderpelt from earlier books. Leafpool doesn't want Cinderpelt to suffer a crippling leg injury like the first Cinderpelt did. Leafpool's help actually makes things worse, but with J-Paw's help, Cinderpelt achieves her dream of being a full warrior. Again, I kind of forgot the Cinderpelt story was in this series, because she's not important and doesn't appear again after this. Some kittens go missing. J-Paw finds them with the help of an ancient ghost cat named Rock. Book 3 was my least favorite. Rock refuses to tell his big secret unless J-Paw goes to the mountains. It shouldn't even be a secret because J-Paw reads minds. And it's not that major. The secret is that the mountain tribe used to live by the lake 100 years ago. Why was that a big secret? The mountain tribe asks for help because rogue invaders are taking over their territory. The tribe and warriors argue constantly about what counts as a border, since the tribe insists borders don't exist. The constant fighting made me mad at every single character, especially because they all do a terrible job of basic communication. The book ends with a big fight against the intruders. As soon as the warriors leave, the tribe gives up its borders, so the entire book was pointless. In Book 4, we meet the villain of the series, who probably should have been introduced 1,000 pages earlier. Soul is a loner who speaks in mysterious riddles. He warns that the sun will disappear soon. Wind Clan launches a surprise attack on Thunder Clan. All 4 clans join in the long battle. The battle ends when there's a solar eclipse. All the cats get scared and run away. Our 3 heroes are officially made full warriors. Soul uses his prediction about the eclipse to get a job as ShadowClan's advisor. He quickly takes over ShadowClan and convinces them to quit being part of the warriors. In Book 5, the situation with Soul gets worse and worse until the trio stops him. They create a fake miracle with falling trees, which convinces ShadowClan to abandon Soul. One cat oversees the trick. He knows the miracle is fake, which could be a major threat, but it never gets mentioned again. A lot of cats get sick with green cough. Cat mint is the cure for green cough. But Leafpool doesn't want to ask another clan for herbs. Lionblaze doesn't want to do it because he might run into Heatherpaw. Jaypaw doesn't want to tell anybody about the cat mint because, well, he just doesn't, that's all. It's an awful lot of characters making weak excuses to do nothing as the situation gets worse and worse. After Firestar dies, Lionblaze is finally motivated to get Catmint, which quickly ends the storyline. There's a 5-chapter interlude where Jaypaw travels back in time 100 years. He preserves the timeline by convincing the tribe cats to move to the mountains. I thought this was really strange since the story comes out of nowhere, and the time travel doesn't get mentioned again. You might remember that the second series had a bit of a cliffhanger ending. It was revealed the clan has an unknown traitor, a secret villain who tried to kill Brambleclaw. The Warrior Cats finally circles back around to this story. I think it was a mistake to completely ignore that cliffhanger for well over 1,000 pages. I completely forgot that storyline even existed. It was so long ago since it was last mentioned. And it was jarring to see Squirrelflight return as a major character after such a long absence. Ashfur reveals himself as the secret villain. He tries to kill the trio. Squirrelflight reveals the trio are not her children. Ashfur is killed before he can reveal the secret to the whole clan. In Book 6, we don't get the cool murder mystery that Book 5 set up. The clan figure Soul is the culprit. A search party goes to find him. This takes 200 pages. It's most of the book. It's the last book of the series. They really should have focused on something more interesting and relevant. Not a long 200-page journey to human territory. Soul is treated as a prisoner. The trio breaks him out of jail because they think he might know who their parents are. I'm not sure why they assume he knows that. They meet Soul a few times, they decide he doesn't know anything, and he goes away. It is a pretty boring way to deal with the main villain of the series. Jayfeather realizes Leafpool's their secret mother. He later learns Crowfeather is their secret father. Hollyleaf reveals the big secret to all of the cats, and soon after she dies in a cave-in. Also, Hollyleaf is the one who killed Ashfur. That should be a major plot twist, but it's almost treated as an afterthought because nobody cares about the murder anymore, and there are no consequences to Hollyleaf being the killer. Instead, the big twist at the end of the series is that Hollyleaf was not one of the 3 prophecy cats. That's why she never developed superpowers. In retrospect, I think this twist hurt the series overall. In order for Hollyleaf doesn't have powers to work as a plot twist, Jaypaw and Lionpaw can't fully develop their own superpowers. That would make it too obvious they have superpowers when Hollypaw doesn't. So for the entire series, they keep their powers a secret and avoid using them. Also, you might have noticed that Hollyleaf never got her own storyline. They had to avoid giving her a storyline in order to preserve the big secret that she doesn't have powers. I think the series should have given Hollyleaf a fake-out superpower to avoid the problem that the Superhero Cat series does not include any superheroics. That's the end of the series. It was my least favorite Warrior Cat series so far. Books 1 and 5 were the 2 I liked the most. Books 3 and 6 were the ones I disliked the most. I think this series has some good ideas which didn't work in practice. I would want more superpower stuff. I'd get rid of everything dealing with the tribe of rushing water. I would build Soul into a major antagonist instead of a minor annoyance. I'd definitely move up the Ashfur is a secret villain storyline, or at least have some kind of story with Brambleclaw, Squirrelflight, and Ashfur, so the big revelation with them doesn't come out of nowhere. My scores for the books were 9, 3, 1, 4, 7, and 2. My average score for the series is a 4.333 repeating out of 10.